We've talked about robots before, whether they're for hospital care or even sexual pleasure. Well, now there's a whole new type of robot sparking controversy. It's called grief bots. Robots that look and act like our deceased loved ones. A little creepy, right? Well, so how will this technology affect the grieving process? I mean, it's a part of life. We come into this world and we have loved ones and we lose loved ones and we pass on. That's life, that's nature. And there's a grieving process that is in place that we all have to go through. It's difficult, but the end to that grieving process, there's finality that you have to let it go.
Yeah. Absolutely. I worry that as hard as it is to let go sometimes, that having something like this around that's a visual reminder of the person you lost, and these are actually modeled very sophisticatedly off of all of that information you put into cyberspace, like the way you text, the things you like, the things that are online that they can access from you. But I really feel like that's going to prolong your grieving process.
Yes, I mean, it's just going to
cut it off.
Keep going on. Let's take a look how it works. So far there is a robot that exists. She's called Bina 48, and she's one of the world's most advanced social robots and built off of a real living woman named Bina. So they're using her personality, her voice patterns, etc. Take a look at this.
I used to play piano and my parents pushed me into a recital. You seem not interested. Why did the chicken go halfway across the road?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very lifelike.
Yeah, that's way too creepy for me. I mean, isn't it?
I mean, Norman Bates would love this, wouldn't he? I mean, this is just any type of thing like that, just perpetuating a very unhealthy, abnormal dealing with losing.
I agree. You have to deal with the circle of life, you know, and living and dying are all part of it, and you have to move on so that you can actually live life as opposed to just being stuck in the past. So to me, that has kind of dangerous repercussions, you know?
And you think about the stages of grief. You have your denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. I think having a grief bot would kind of leave you stuck in the denial phase. Absolutely. And your loved ones, if they really, really loved you, they would want you to not forget them, but they would want you to move on. And I think it's really hard to do that. On the other hand, even though I understand that, I can see how someone who is having a really hard time would be tempted to get a grief bot, because think about it. You hear people say, I would do anything to talk to them one more time, anything to hear their voice. So of course you want to hear their laugh one more time. Of course you want to hear the joke they always told one more time, but it doesn't allow you to move on. And honestly, in my opinion, I understand that that's a phenomenal creation, but it's not quite lifelike enough for me yet. That's scary. Yeah. And she looks scary. I'm sure she doesn't look scary in real life, but that looks scary.
And I think to your point, Nita, that it's one thing to miss your loved one and to look at those photos and maybe look at old videos and when you're ready, kind of have that as part of your life, but also know that that's in the past and move on. Yeah. I think what really scares me about this technology is it's all artificial intelligence, and what they're doing is they're actually taking your own speech pattern or the speech pattern of your loved one who's deceased and replicating it, and they're also trying to predict the kinds of things that person would say.
How they would respond.
Yeah, so text messages you sent, emails you sent, and as I thought about it even a little bit more, I was thinking that after I die, do I want all of my texts and emails dissected from my kids? Maybe there's some privacy issues there too, that the deceased person wouldn't really feel comfortable with those kinds of thoughts and statements being then perpetuated after you pass.
That's true. Like if your kid says something and then the mom says, go find my stripper pole. Like, which
I say to my kids all the time.
But you know, I want you to take a look. Let's compare, the grief bot. We took a look at that and take a look at the real life Bina 48 and see. There she is.
She's a gorgeous woman. She does not look like that grief bot.
Well, it's pretty close.
But it's close physically, but the way it was moving, like Okay, for me, maybe I see something that other people don't see.